The courtroom was silent. Only the sound of the judge's pen moving across the paper echoed through the hall. Sarah sat there, her hands trembling, eyes swollen from nights of crying. Across the table sat her husband, Daniel, calm, composed, but with a sadness hidden deep in his eyes. After 7 years of marriage, they were signing their divorce papers. Sarah had loved Daniel with all her heart. She believed their story was forever. But life, sometimes, has a way of testing love in ways no one expects. For months, things had changed. Daniel had grown distant. He stopped smiling, stopped talking much, and spent long nights staring into nothing. Sarah thought maybe he'd fallen out of love, but the truth was something she didn't know yet. When the judge finally said the words, "Greater than, the divorce is granted," Sarah felt her heart shatter quietly inside her chest. She stood up, holding back tears, and turned to leave. But Daniel stopped her. "Sarah," his voice cracked softly. "Please wait." He handed her an envelope, carefully folded, with her name written in his familiar handwriting. Sarah looked at it in confusion. "What is this, Daniel?" He smiled faintly. "Something I should have told you earlier. But I didn't want you to stay out of pity. You deserve a life full of peace, not worry." Sarah frowned, opening the envelope. Inside were documents, ownership papers. Her heart skipped a beat when she realized what it was. It was the ownership deed to their house, the place they had built together, now signed completely in her name. Her eyes widened. "Daniel, what is this? Why would you?" He interrupted gently, "Because you built this home more than I ever did. Every smile in those walls is yours. I don't want you to lose it because of me." Tears filled her eyes as she whispered, "But, what about you? Where will you go?" Daniel's eyes lowered. "That doesn't matter. I'll be fine." Sarah wanted to ask more, but he walked away slowly, his shoulders heavy, but his face strangely peaceful. Days turned into weeks. Sarah tried to start over, but the emptiness of the house reminded her of Daniel. Every room echoed with memories, laughter, late-night talks, shared dreams. One evening, she found a small envelope tucked in the corner of their old bookshelf. On it, written in Daniel's handwriting, "Greater than, for when you're ready to forgive me." Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside was a letter. "Greater than, dear Sarah. I never wanted to end our marriage. But I didn't want you to watch me fade away. 3 months ago, I was diagnosed with a terminal illness. The doctors gave me little time, and I didn't want my pain to become your prison. I wanted you to be free, to heal, to smile again. I divorced you not out of anger, but out of love. The house is yours, because it's filled with everything beautiful we built together. Please, remember me not for how I left, but for every moment I truly loved you. Daniel." The paper blurred through her tears. Her knees gave way, and she fell to the floor, clutching the letter to her chest. All this time, she had believed he stopped loving her. But he was loving her in silence, by letting her go. A few weeks later, Sarah received a call from a lawyer. Daniel had passed away quietly in a small hospice outside the city. He had left one last thing for her, a small video message. In the video, Daniel looked pale but peaceful. "Greater than, hey, Sarah, if you're watching this, it means I couldn't say goodbye in person. I know you probably hate me for what I did, but I hope, someday, you'll understand. Love isn't always about holding on. Sometimes, it's about letting go so the other person can live freely. You were my best friend, my light. Take care of yourself, and live the life we dreamed of." Sarah watched the message over and over again, tears rolling down her face, until she smiled through them. For the first time since the divorce, she whispered softly, "Greater than, thank you, Daniel, for loving me in the kindest way." Months later, Sarah turned their home into a small foundation, the House of Kindness, a place where divorced and abandoned women could find shelter, counseling, and hope. Every wall of that house carried the memory of a man who chose kindness over pride, and love over possession. And though Daniel was gone, his kindness lived on. Through every tear wiped, every smile restored, and every woman who found hope again in that home. Dove moral of the story. Sometimes love doesn't end, it transforms. Real kindness isn't shown when everything is perfect, it's shown when the heart is breaking, but still chooses to do good. Heart.